We are the Yeah Come On Show, episode 120, and that is backwards audio. We all took a moment to enjoy. Thunder Love walked in through the door. One day we'll play it forward. Until then, we're going to groove like nobody's business. Show 120 of the Yeah Come On Show. I'm Southside Steve, your host. That's my co-host, Brett Barney, and that's our co-host. That's Mr. Evan Brando. And today we're going to talk about a topic, and then we're going to talk about a man. And we're all being entertained. And those of you that watch this podcast or tell other people to just listen to it if you can't watch it on YouTube, I just want to say how much we appreciate you. There's a lot of big things happening that I may even be able to talk about in about 2 weeks. But there's going to be love given. We're going to do our kind of love. We're going to talk about you if you send us info. We're going to send you shirts if we dig what you did, good or bad. And we're going to have set segments. We do have Brett's brain that is weird as hell and needs to be discussed. Evan Brando, you know, a true talent, really showed himself at Rock 100.5 last week. I want to thank you for being on Axel and Southside from 3 to 7 on Rock 100.5, doing a fabulous job running the board and content. Look forward to working with you in the future from that capacity. You know, I want to come up with a segment for you, Brando. I want you to come up with something that's weird as hell, but entertaining, that might be worth 5 minutes on a podcast. You're not good enough to give more than 5 minutes. I don't
I
want
get
you
that.
So 5 minutes. Anytime we have a guest, we're going to do our cigarette break where we talk about their life and let them be shameless in the time frame it takes to smoke a cigarette. We are going to have a liquor sponsor soon. Right now, we have great sponsors like joebees.com, oxygenfinancial.com, circle285.com, and Ridgeline Counseling with Dr. Dave Markwell. We'll talk about those guys in a little bit. This is kind of a summation as this show starts to really hit its stride going forward. And in doing so, we will end this show talking about a friend that we have known that passed for about 5 minutes. Calls came in through Corey, who we work with in production at Rock 100.5 Cumulus. He works all the stations. Fantastic guy, written a book. We need to have him on and talk about his book, boys. And then we heard about our general manager, Sean Shannon, and what a tremendous human being he was. A guy named Steve Stone passed away. And Steve Stone is a dear friend. He's a musician. He had hopes. He had dreams. He played at Brett's wedding. We'll get into that towards the end of the show. He's had a battle with cancer. I saw him come into the station about a month ago, not looking like himself, very pale, wearing a stocking hat. He's lost his hair just to retrieve some of his guitars and things, knowing he would probably never come back to work again. Then he was given 3 months to live, and he lived about a week and a half. And cancer took him while living downstairs in our general manager of Cumulus's home. I don't know if I'm supposed to put that kind of crap out, but I'm going to put it out because,
hey, we're honest.
Yeah, here's the deal with this show. We don't put on airs. Everybody goes, there's one side, there's your side, there's the truth in the middle. One thing I wanted to do when I did a podcast is never BS our audience and never say anything that wasn't true, or never give you anything from just my point of view saying it's fact. I hear a lot of other people with podcasts, and I don't give a damn how this is received to those individuals that tell lies, that say things that are absolutely not true and try to sway an audience and sway a human being. But if you've ever met me in person, Brett Barney or Evan Brando, you might not think the same if you think negatively. And when it comes to our general manager, who's been in the news a little bit, just because it's corporate radio, things happen. Big things happen, and there's points of views on that, and then there's the truth. No matter what, let's talk about human beings. Let's talk about a man that right now puts people first ahead of work, and we're looking to be around positive people. That's the future, just so you know. The negative radio and the hate speech and all the stuff that was popular in the 90s that I was a part of with the regular guys and everything that went into the 2000s. I'm not into a cancel culture, but I am into a positive environment, and I dig positive people, and I want to be around positive people and people that can jab each other, laugh at each other, and take shots at each other, but it's not personal. They don't go behind your back and talk about what a douche you are. They don't call you dumb dumb. They don't do different stupid little things. They
Hey.
keep it real. Keep it real. And if you're not around positive people, find your way. Believe it or not, I think negative people are finding their fate. And maybe I'm not out to cancel you, but either put some sunshine in your life or move on somewhere else. Um, but Sean Shannon took this individual, Steve Stone, and he had nowhere to go and put him in his basement knowing this was it. And Steve was able to bring his mother in, his friends, he's got sisters, cousins, whoever, and
His
Corey,
kids.
yeah, his kids, and Corey, who works with us, who also worked in the same department as Steve's wife, was drawing up his last will. And a phone call went out last night, unbeknownst to any of us, from our general manager to Corey, said we need that will now. And they finished it, rushed it over this morning at 6:30 a.m., got it signed, and we lost Steve Stone at 11:30 this morning, 11:45, and we all just found out. And it's just tough. So we're going to dedicate this show, which is the least we can do, the Yeah Come On show, to Steve Stone, who wrote a Yeah Come On song for me with his voice saying a bunch of Yeah Come Ons. I'm going to find that damn thing and play it. The people I was working with before on another show didn't like it, but I loved it, and Steve did it. And Brett Barney's going to share scenes from his wedding. Evan, who handles all of our production and does a wonderful job and a good job on the microphone, is going to assemble some videos and some things just of Steve. It might even be his voice cutting things, but show 120 will be given to Steve Stone of Cumulus. And whether you knew him or you probably heard his voice a lot, I hope that you just realize that in this crazy industry, radio, TV is no different. Any entertainment, job, career has its ups and downs. It always does. And we deal with hate. You're not even locally famous unless there's people out there that despise you. We are okay with haters. I'd rather get a compliment. Brett likes the hate. Evan's on the fence. But I will tell you that rarely do I get a little teary. I've got a little teary here. This is real. And it's not the first time we've lost a good friend on this show. We've lost two guests on the show that were friends of the show. It's never, ever easy when you're in this situation. But life is precious, regardless of what you see on television, with people shooting people for no damn reason, people firing at people's homes for no damn reason, little toddlers, babies dying because moms couldn't handle it. There's so much negativity out there that people like us need to talk, and people like us need to make this world a better place. So to Steve Stone, I didn't mean to hog all this time. I didn't know I was going to do this, but it's live and we just found out. I'm going to have to leave this show just due to where I need to be today in about 5 minutes. I'm going to let Brett Barney and I'm going to let Evan Brando, who are no stranger to the microphone and have given years of their life to this career. They're on the younger side of this career than me. But I want you all to take a moment and do what I've just done. And I want you to share your stories. And I want you to do it for about 20 minutes after our commercial break. And I want you to play audio clips and just let anybody that's willing to give it the time, the moment, just to see about a guy that did matter and is no longer. And the people, special congratulations from my heart to Sean Shannon, my general manager, for just being righteous, and to Corey and his wife. And does anybody know how to pronounce Corey's last name?
Isn't it Holzberg?
I'm going to say Holzberg. I hope you're right. Corey Holzberg and his wife should be, if you know them, hug them, because they went out of their way. Corey's son grew up knowing Steve and had never seen someone sick before, and grew up. Corey even said, "You're a man now," and went and saw somebody that didn't look the way they looked, not even 2 months ago. And we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna talk trash. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna laugh most of the time, but every once in a while, you got to take a moment and take it down a notch and just get some perspective. So, cheers to Steve Stone from the Yeah Come On show. Hopefully, on his way to heaven as we speak. We had a fun topic. I want to talk quickly about something weird. We're going to have a weird moment. This is the donut. They call it the donut. You got content on one side, content on the other, and in the middle, there's something that gets thrown in. And in our business, it's called a donut. So the donut is entertainment. This is weird stuff. It has nothing to do with anything I just talked about. We're going to laugh for a minute, and then we're going to finish the show out with you two. And I thank you for the words I haven't heard you say, but I will listen to on Friday. The donut is Brett has an experience, and maybe we've all had this kind of experience, but you found something in a drawer.
Yeah, I did. So I'm sorry if this sounds really weird. I'm in a new room in a new house. So if this sounds hollow or echoey, I was trying to adjust my microphone settings. That might be a little bit better. Who knows? You guys can knock on me for it. Evan, give me thumbs up or down as we go. All right. Well, I told you guys a few weeks ago that I'm going to furnish this entire house just doing Craigslist. And I thought, man, this is a genius idea. I'll save a ton of money and it might be funny. The day we move in, this past Monday, we bought a new dresser and side tables for the bedroom. My wife opens up hers as we're going to bed and looks in the drawer and goes, oh, look, there's a gift card in here for someplace I've never even heard of. And I open up my drawer and I'm like, oh my God, you are not going to believe this. And I close it and I said, you got to come over here and open this. She's like, no, what is it? What is it? What is it? Is it condoms? Is it this? Is it that? I go, no, come open this drawer. She opens this thing up. Bro.
You kept it? You kept it?
Bro. This thing is bigger than
oh my God, you have
head.
Dude, that is definitely used. Please tell me you washed it.
There is
what's that? What is that?
And there's a French maid outfit and everything. Now, here's the funny thing.
It would be weirder if there wasn't a French maid outfit.
Here's the funny thing about this. What do you think her response was?
Your wife or the person that gave it to you?
My wife. The person who gave it to us like a week ago. It's just been sitting here in plastic wrap.
I think a normal wife would say, oh my God, we need to return this, throw this out. The whole thing is gone. But I know your wife.
She said, let's clean it. Let's clean it and use it.
Another one for my collection.
She started accusing me of planting it.
Oh.
She was like, you planted
that.
that.
Way better.
She said that I planted it because we were down in Tampa. We were going through TSA and we were in the airport and I was having a discussion with her of, would you ever plant something in my bag? So I got stopped by TSA.
Oh my gosh.
And she said, I would never do that to you. And I said, I hate to tell you this. I 100% would do that to you. So she thought I planted the whole thing. Now I started looking at this and I'm going, okay, if you think about this completely, this has to be plugged in. So there is a fear that this might run out of batteries while in use. This thing could probably break concrete. It's like a jackhammer. Dude, it's very bigger.
I mean,
it's as big as my forearm.
That's about how big they are, right?
It's the biggest vibrator.
Oh, that's big. Well, you're not supposed to. No, the whole thing doesn't do things. You just use the tip.
Are you sure it's not a lamp? It looks, put a lampshade on it. It looks like a lamp.
Hang on, I'm going to plug it in.
And so Steve and I on the other end just got sent a picture of this with like zero context. I'll throw that up here.
Yeah, and I know that Brett's having fun. Brett has never been like so crass that he tells me exactly what he and his wife do, but I know it's extramarital fun stuff, meaning extra as in supplies.
They get recreational.
They're
not hobbyists.
Yeah, not other people, and nothing's off the table. We see it, Brett, vibrating nasty pants. But I figured your wife would clean it and use it, but she's not going to do that. She just thought you planted it. So what are you going to do? Did you just keep it around to show us, or
yes,
are you
it's
going
in
to
a
give
trash
it away?
can.
All right, I didn't know. Can you give that to Goodwill?
Ooh.
Can you give them? Actually, I don't know. No, certainly not. That
Certainly.
But they take underwear.
I really feel like I need to wash my hands.
You should.
Yeah, you need to, well, I wouldn't wash them now. Just they say a little bit of germs keeps you alive. I don't think it has COVID, but it might. It could have something else.
Herpes can't live on a surface, can they?
No, not
right now.
24 hours, I think. Yeah, he's fine. Brett's. Let Evan find out medically what's about to happen to you.
Cannot live or thrive on porous surfaces.
All right, boom, and that's porous. But it's only supposed to do things like it could be for somebody's back. Is there any chance they used it for that?
Brett, are you serious? Brett, put it on your back. Try
I'm not touching myself with a tip.
Put the tip on your back.
Not even a tip.
Dude,
Brett, don't be scared.
You got to
You know
work
what?
out.
I'll do this. If we ever want to make a bet on the show, I'll put this thing in a plastic bag, hold on to it, and loser has to put it on their back.
No, I say right now, you show me what a man you are and stick it right down your pants.
Fuck you. Dude, this is some random dude that I met at a storage unit. It's his vibrator made outfit, doily with boa.
If you have any contact with him just to see if there's a back and forth, that's him a picture. Go, do you want this?
Dude, and he was a Marine.
Well, Marines.
Like
hey,
an
look,
old school Marine. Like
look,
Timber Marine.
You storm the beaches, you attack your woman. That's what you do. That's what you do. I just want to say mine.
Her Bay of Pigs.
Yeah, mine. We had a woman that was, you look at this singer in a choir, the person that runs the choir is the most religious person, and you're like, oh my God. And I remember her first name was Meg, and she was Italian, and she could sing. And I'm like 10, 11 years old, and she sang at our church, and we're Catholic church. I don't think she was Catholic though. But my mom had to go feed her dogs. So, we go over to the house, we're feeding her dogs. So what does a young Steve Rickman do with his little brother, Kevin and Matt? We go in the bedroom, we're looking under the bed, and I pull out double-ended giant black dildo.
Oh
and
my God.
It's called a double-sided
lightsaber.
It's called a double-sided flexi dong.
And it had the veins in it and everything. And I didn't even think it was a penis. I don't know what I thought it was. I'm a nice innocent. I was in Cub Scouts. No, I was in Weeblos. That's what I was in. I didn't know. My parents hadn't birds and the bees me at all. I hadn't found anything at their house. So I come walking in and my mom's like, oh Lord. Oh Lord. I just remember my mom's reaction. Oh God, Steven, put that down. Put that down. And I was like, what is wrong with this thing? What? She goes, where did you find it?
It's like a Stretch Armstrong.
And then she's calling the phone and she's stretching the cord. Rick, Steve just found, what should I do? And I just remember my dad in the background, put it back, damn it. And I heard all that. So we put it back and left it. And then now I still didn't put it together, but when I turned about 16, I'm like, you got a friend. They come over and y'all do things. But that was mine.
Wow.
You got one, Evan?
Yeah, it's not a sex object. Well, maybe it kind of is. Either way, when my grandpa passed away, we went up to Chicago. We did the funeral thing, and we were just like, we went up to his house afterwards, just looking for stuff to like, hey, what crap do we want to take to remember him by? And I went to his bedroom, and I go to his like bedside table, and I open it, and I find 3 humongous bags of weed. Like just like Ziploc bags filled with weed. And of the 3, one had in Sharpie written on it, good one. So I picked one of them to remember him by.
Yeah, I think somebody was selling weed and like one you can sell, 2 you probably shouldn't. Or those are the 2 you should sell and keep the good one. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's funny. Somebody says good one. Well, look, my time has come. I love this topic, Brett. Don't throw it away yet. There could be a stunt involved with that. I haven't quite figured it out.
We should have a garage sale with all the other crap that Brett finds in his used furniture.
Yeah, Brett. Let's just we'll give away Brett's stuff. Since
that's what we'll do.
Brett's stuff. Since you're going to be buying stuff off Craigslist, let's keep compiling it, and we'll wrap it into something, and we'll just put what price tag. We'll start the pricing at like $5 and see what it sells for if anybody wants your stuff. Technically, it's Craigslist stuff.
Because you said Messina your wife found something as well, right? She found a gift card.
Yeah, she found some. I don't even know what the name of the place is, but this could be Evan's segment. Evan eBay's Brett shit.
All right.
$1.
We're working it out. This is the Yeah Come On Show 120. I'm Southside Steve. That's Brett Barney. And Evan, known to you as Brando. JoeBees.com. Check them out, man. We swear by it. The bee pollen keeps you healthy. Allergy season's coming, but let's talk about the energy, the amino acids, the vitamins that are in bee pollen. 877-356-32 or go to joebees.com. Oxygenfinancial.com. Spelled just like it sounds. Ted Jenkins is the man to ask for. You can also see him on headline news all the time. Solid dude. Circle 285, that's for your insurance needs. I dealt with my guys yesterday and I was so happy about it. I'm personally with Safeco. There's other companies out there. There are A companies, ones you might not have heard of. If you're thinking about the three we all know, you're probably getting taken to the cleaners and paying more than you should. Circle285.com gives you a free quote and lets you know what's out there. Ridgeline Counseling, Dr. David Markwell. Times like these, what our show's dedicated, when you have losses in your life, maybe things aren't going your way, maybe you have loss of job. Sometimes it doesn't matter how good you are, what a good job you do, you lose your gig. So whatever you're going through, find that positive. That's our word of the day. Be positive as you can, and take a moment and remember those. Hug those that you care about. Let them know you care about them. Dr. David Markwell is ready to talk to you in person in Marietta or Blue Ridge, or he'll talk to you on Zoom. That's Ridgeline Counseling. We're going to go to break and be right back after this as my two buddies here finish up the show. And as we started the show, we dedicate it to a human being that we now all three know we lost not even 25 minutes ago. His name's Steve Stone. He worked with us. Learn a little bit about him after this.
She's a Bulldog fan, ain't afraid to say it. Wears her t-shirt proud when she's out tailgating. Standing on a cooler with a beer in one hand and a middle finger up for the Gators on the other. Don't give that girl a glass of unsweet tea. You might meet the wrong end of her right knee. She'll make no bones about where you're from, but she'll make it clear that she is Georgia to the bone. Born and raised and calls it home. SEC on Saturday. She'll always order Coke with her Chick-fil-A. Yeah, Georgia to the bone. From 75 to any old back road. The sweetest peach that was ever grown. Yeah, that girl is Georgia to the bone. Purebred Blue Ridge and damn proud, got a heart in her the size of Stone Mountain. Tuna pontoon all weekend. Float the Chattahoochee with some beer and friends. Top down drive with the wind in her hair. As long as it's Georgia, she really don't care. From the ATL to interstate line, that girl will be fine, cause she is Georgia to the bone. Born and raised and calls it home. SEC on Saturday. What'll she have? A chili dog from the varsity. Georgia to the bone. From 75 to any old back road. The sweetest peach I've ever known. Yeah, that girl is Georgia to the bone. She loves honeysuckle and watching lightning bugs. Her Saturday plans, she's only got 2 words. Go Dogs! Georgia to the bone. Born and raised and calls it home. SEC on Saturday. She'll always order Coke with her Chick-fil-A. Yeah, Georgia to the bone. From 75 to any old back road. The sweetest peach I've ever known. Yeah, that girl is Georgia to the bone. Hotter than August. Yeah, that girl is Georgia to the bone. Gator hater from way back. Oh, that girl is Georgia to the bone.
And we're back. So Southside actually had it wrong. This is Yeah Come On Show 121. We are saying, well, thank you, I guess. Is thank you the right thing to say about Steve Stone? Because Steve was such a great guy. We want to share some stories that we personally have about Steve Stone.
Yeah, I mean, so long. Thanks for all the fish. You know, like thank you does feel right, but it also doesn't really encapsulate like cheers. But I don't have like a drink would feel right because it's like a celebration. You know. Because
And-
I feel like thank you is like a conclusion, and like it's like thank you, you've done that favor or whatever it is, and we don't need to think about it anymore. But like Steve Stone for me is like, I don't know, I'll put it like this: I'm kind of a weird fella, right? And when you're like a weird fella, you like seek out other weirdos. You know, you put like a sounding board out there. You know, like that, like how fucking bats find each other, right? And Steve Stone was just another weirdo in the office. I spent a lot of time just like hanging, chatting with him about whatever. And Steve was like the best kind of weird, you know? He had a record collection in his office we'd thumb through. And I don't know.
He had a guitar collection. I
Mhm.
will say one thing Cumulus is going to miss is if you've ever been to the radio studios or even seen pictures or somebody doing a Facebook Live or some video, you'll see guitars that hang all over the office walls, autographed by this band, that band, everything, everyone. Steve would walk down the halls, I believe it was like every Wednesday or Thursday or something, and he would tune every guitar
Mhm.
so that if an artist ever showed up to the office and lifted a guitar off the wall and wanted to play, it was in perfect tune.
Yeah, because they
Always.
would, you know, just sitting there. People like dum-dums, like, will just like strum it, you know, and get it out of tune, and it just sitting there, you know. But yeah, that was just the kind of fella he was. He was super passionate about music, and you know, I think that the reason it's important to talk about Steve Stone is like, even most of you listening probably don't know him, right? Even though you've probably heard him. I think everyone in their life has someone like Steve Stone. It's such a cliche to be like, man, it's not the years of your life, it's the life in your years. But like Steve, like, man, that dude's life, like, dude won awards. He went to like these crazy schools. Do you know he went to a thing called Wizard School?
What?
He was telling me about the not a magician thing, it's a marketing thing, but that's like run by like one like prolific, weird marketing guy. And he like went to this school, like, you know, a few years back. Like he just had this crazy life, you know. He played in a Tom Petty cover band. Like,
I don't
dude
know.
was
I don't know if
yeah.
he'd want me to share this story, but you know that there was an attempted assassination on his life when he was in his 20s.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Holy shit, what?
So, come to find out, if you knew Steve, Steve played guitar, phenomenal guitar, slide, any type of, he's the kind of guy, he could pick up probably any instrument. He only had 3 fingers.
I was going to say something that crazy. He's like the most talented musician we knew, and he had 3 fingers.
Yeah.
Like he had like little nub fingers. And, you know, he would always make jokes about it too, which is like.
So I worked with him for several years. And if you know me, I'm a hugger. So if you're a hugger, which Steve was, we give each other a hug when we saw each other in the hallway. And when I was talking to him and asking him if he would do something at my wedding, and he said he played the intro music. He sat in this little garden, and when everybody came in, all the guests, he sat there and played an acoustic set for a half hour, and which was the nicest thing anybody could do, the greatest gift from anybody. It was awesome. We decided to go meet up at Scofflaw Brewery, and we're sitting there drinking and discussing the set because he wanted to know which direction we wanted to go. And he lifts up to drink his beer. And like I said, I've known the guy for several years, and I noticed he's missing fingers. And I'm going, holy shit, this guy's missing like part of his hand. So he gets up and walks away, and I was like, is he missing part of his hand? And he comes back, and we bring it up, and he looks at me, he goes, Brett, you've known me for like 5, 6, 7 years. You never noticed this? And I guess, I don't know if he was like self-conscious. He was floored that like I never noticed that about him, because he was so much bigger as a personality that I never looked at his hands. Like we didn't shake hands, we hugged, we were friends, you know?
That's so weird to me. I mean,
I never
like,
noticed for years.
He would like, I remember the first time I met him, I'm trying to remember exactly what happened, but I think I gave him a handshake, like, hi, I'm Evan. And he gave me a handshake with his digitless hand. And he goes, what'd you do to my hand? I thought that was really fucking funny.
So if you actually know the story about the hand, that plays into the assassination. So he actually told me the story right there on the spot, and I'll kind of sum it up because I might screw this up because it's been a year. But basically what happened was, when he was a musician young, he had moved from America over to London, and he was playing gigs around London, and he needed a job. So he decided to work in a metal shop where he was cutting metal. His hand got caught in the machine, and that's how he got his fingers cut off. And I'm telling you, this is just what he told me. If this is bullshit, maybe he was just telling me a really good story, which is Awesome. But he got his fingers cut off and it was a machine malfunction. So he went to the hospital and he filed a lawsuit against the company. And it was for like, it was six figures. It was a decent amount of money, especially probably for the time. And he was in the hospital and this nurse came in who he had never seen before. And he was hooked up on some stuff and put something in one of the IV lines. And all of a sudden he went into cardiac arrest.
What?
Yeah. And he almost died. And they were able to revive him and bring him back to life. And they're like, what happened? He was like, well, this nurse came in. They're like, no, we haven't had a nurse in here all day.
Holy shit.
And it came down to be there was some conspiracy that the company he was suing was trying to end the lawsuit by having him taken out.
Whoa.
And he ended up settling or winning the lawsuit. And he told me, he was like, yeah, I bought the sweetest Corvette and this or Jag or like he was a trip.
This is the kind of thing I'm talking about, though. Like, who in their life can honestly say, oh, yeah, I had an assassination attempt on my life? You know what I mean? I'm not interesting enough for that. And this is not an open invite to come assassinate me, by the way. If you're listening and you're like, you know what? I'm going to do Brando a favor.
New Evan segment.
Yeah. Try to assassinate Evan. It's the old shoot Southside Steve bit, but just with, guys on grassy knolls.
But man,
yeah.
Steve was just a really good guy. I'm hoping that I can get some of these videos of him playing guitar.
Yeah, I'll play a tune on the back end of this show. So if you want to, hear his musical talent, you can also go to stevestoneaudio.com and check out like all the stuff he did, which is, it's a lot. And like I remember the other thing too is like Steve was like, oh man, I have some audio. I'll see if I can dig it up for next show or I'll just post it here. But I did a bit on 99X podcast that I was running where I don't know if you guys remember this, but during the 2020 political race, the candidates on the Democratic side in particular, because it was such a like 2020 Republican was always going to be Trump or whatever. But
yeah,
the
incumbent.
Yeah. And the Democrats, there was like this huge race and they were buying a lot of radio ad time. So Steve and I got together and we made a bunch of fake ads for these. And I had him do Joe Biden, now US President Joe Biden. And it's the funniest thing I think I've ever heard. Oh man, he nailed it. He was always down for something. I do still have it. But yeah, he was just like always down for whatever, Like,
yeah.
I remember multiple instances of that thing happening where we had an idea, we'd go to him and he would have it like this genius bit of production out the next day, When I was doing the Cage Cult shift, same thing. We were getting these like a lot of calls like, did I win? Like, I don't know. We didn't put a contest out there. So we were talking to Steve Stone about this and he was like, oh, I bet I could write a song about that. And then he did. The next day.
I remember one thing I told him is I was listening to Rock 100 and a commercial came on. I want to say it was Oxendine Law. And I'm listening and this commercial is I'm just rolling laughing. I'm like 10 seconds into it. It was some sort of divorce law. So I might be incorrect on the sponsor. And it's Steve Stone voicing the thing. It was kind of like, doodly doo, like cartoonish, and then it goes, but life is not like cartoons, like
yeah.
Divorce is sad. And I just started laughing. I was like, man, this is such a great commercial. I sat in a parking spot and had to listen to the whole commercial. A commercial held me through to sit there. And I walked inside. I went right to his office and I was like, that is phenomenal. And told him, and he was just, thank you. Just one of those, that makes my day that I could write a commercial that would get somebody to stop and actually listen because it was so good. And I want to say he won a couple of awards for the commercial.
He did. He won a lot of like commercial writing, copywriting and jingle writing specifically. He won a lot of awards for, which again, who can say that they won awards for writing like commercial jingles,
Yeah,
like he was, he didn't write like the give me a break, break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar, but like that's what he did, like.
Man, he was a good guy. He will definitely be missed. I know that him and I had been talking about wanting to write a movie together.
I would have loved to have read that.
And we had the whole idea. It's my idea. I pitched it to him, and then he started twisting it and helping me with some of it. But maybe I'll bring you in on this. And
I pick up the torch, pick up the old Steve Stone torch.
it's a pretty wild idea, but who knows if it'll ever come to fruition? Who knows?
Yeah. Huh.
I definitely know that he will be missed.
Yeah,
So.
he was definitely one of the good ones, man.
But if we want to end it there, if not, I do have a Steve Stone-esque type funny story because Steve loved to laugh and crack jokes that I want to bump off of what we were talking about earlier in Southside's Donut. How Evan found 3 massive bags of weed, probably like hefty trash bag size weed bags at his grandfather's house after he passed away. Well, when my grandfather passed away, my grandfather was a very religious man. He worked for the Catholic Church and sold real estate. So you can guess, and he's a Marine, but well, as I knocked this desk, he's not one of these type of Marines. He was, World War II. But we're going through the house and we get into the attic and we find this trunk, this really, really beautiful wooden trunk. And my brother and I get it down the stairs out of the attic into the garage, and it's got this lock on it. And we're like, okay, we got to find out what's in this thing. And we're thinking to ourselves, what could be in Grandpa's trunk? Like, this could be anything. We finally break the lock, and we're, throwing ideas back and forth. Bricks of gold. It was really heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It could be weaponry from, weapons from the war, stuff.
Something, yeah.
He
could have had Nazi gold.
It could have been any of this stuff.
Oh my
God. We're sitting here
dude.
going, what is in this trunk? We crack it open. There is a massive white robe balled up in this thing.
Oh my God.
We all stop and go, what? Because like I said, my grandfather, very religious man. What the hell is this?
Uh-oh.
And this thing is all nice and designed. We lift it up and hold it up. It's a damn Knights of Columbus robe that he used to wear for like church on Christmas and stuff when the Knights of Columbus come in for the Christmas mass.
All right, that's okay. All right.
Made total sense. It was on par for the course. But when we opened it up, exactly
you were like
letters in the alphabet 3 times in a row. Our mind went right to.
Do we just shut this and pretend we never saw it? Because there's definitely a version of that story that ends that way.
Yes, and there's probably people out there that have lived through that, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm so sure.
But yeah, that's where
I'm so curious. Now, I want to challenge you listeners. If you're at home and you're like, oh man, I totally found this out about someone after they passed away, email the show. We are very curious.
Oh yeah,
comment on Facebook, etc., or YouTube. Perfect.
Yeah. You can email us, yeahcomeonshow@gmail.com. Hit us up on any of our social media accounts at the Yeah Come On Show. That one is at the Yeah Come On Show, whereas the email is yeahcomeonshow@gmail.com. You can also hit up our Google Voice number if you just want to leave us a voicemail. We'll put that in the bottom of the info comments, and you can just let us know what you maybe found after somebody passed away.
I'm really curious about this because I think I'm curious about what you just said, because I feel like there's somebody that definitely happened to, right? Like,
oh, for sure.
Especially in our neck of the woods where, there's a history here.
This depends on the color of that neck.
That's right. I bet it happened to Steve.
Oh gosh. Well, maybe he can bring something on next episode. We'll be
very curious
next week. And as always, thank you to all of our sponsors. That is Joe B's. And I am not going to do the entire thing Steve does because he has it in front of him and I do not. Thank you to Ted Jenkin, Oxygen Financial, for all your financial needs. Thank you to Circle 285. I might get these right. I might get these wrong. This is off the top of my head.
You're doing really well. Do you know the last one?
I do. Dr. David Markwell, Ridgeline Counseling. If you do need some help, Dr. Dave's been on the show multiple times. He's a good friend of the show. He's a great supporter of the show. And we do love having Dr. Dave on, and possibly one of my favorite people to discuss Sopranos with. So, Evan, would you like
you have it.
Would you like to close this out and give us a yeah, come on?
Yeah, come on. Wait, that one kind of sucked. Can I do it again?
Yeah, let's go one more.
Yeah, come on.
Perfect.
Fly away, my angel. Don't you worry about me. You've been held down for so long. Now you're finally free. You traveled a hard road, yet you never complain. Waiting for blue sky in the pouring down rain. And I'll remember the way you would brighten my day with the love in your eyes and the things you would say. And I look forward to when I can see you again. 'Cause in my heart you're forever nearby. No, this is not goodbye. But think of all the people whose lives you have touched, never asking for anything, but still giving so much. So fly away, sweet angel. Don't worry about us. Our lives will be better having known you, my son. And I'll remember the way you would brighten my day with the love in your eyes and the funny things you would say. I look forward to when I can see you again. But in my heart you're forever nearby. No, this is not goodbye. This is not goodbye. No, this is not goodbye. This is not goodbye.
Joe Biden here. Listen up, Buster. We've got a real problem in America. There's a disease with youths. They're spending too much time at the billiard halls, not enough time getting drafted, and eating hardtack and beans from a tin cup. No siree, Jack. We can't be silly billies. We gotta toss this potato salad and take on the real issues. Dogs in costumes. 1 minute you think you're looking at a sunflower, and then boom, it's a dachshund. No thank you. Remember, a vote for Joe Biden is a vote for Joe Biden. I'm Joe Biden. Come here, little girl.